You've probably heard the news by now, unfortunately, that one of Manchester City's greatest ever players, Colin Bell, has passed away at the age of 74, and it's absolutely awful, genuinely awful, and I feel so sorry for his wife, and I'm reading this from Manchester City's website. He left behind his wife Maria, children John and Dawn, and grandchildren Luke, Mark, Isla and Jack, which is always the first thought when you hear news like this, and more than that, I guess this person left an awful big impact on lots of Manchester City fans. Now, personally, I was too young to see him play, and it's one of my biggest regrets as a Manchester City fan in general that I missed his incredible years and the indelible mark he left on Manchester City. But some people's influence simply transcends what they do on the pitch anyway. And I think it's fair to say when you look at a line and you see on Twitter and social media all these beautiful messages about a player and a person that so many professionals and fans are now missing, it's quite obvious that this was more than just a football. This was a great man, a humble man, a man with dignity and class who knew how to represent the club and football fans themselves on the pitch and off the pitch. And it's a massive, genuine loss. And I'm devastated for Manchester City fans who love him around the world that they won't be able to see him off in the stadium. It's truly awful, and it's a horrible start to the year. No one deserves to hear this news. No one does. We all know how much he means to Manchester City Football Club. I don't blame any younger fan who doesn't quite understand how good and how big a player he was for City's past. I personally am a little bit too young, and I'm 35 years old. But Colin Bell was named as the king for a reason. This man was absolutely phenomenally good. I've sat and chatted to many Manchester City fans older than me who grew up watching and idolising Colin Bell, and the way they talked about him, it's kind of the stuff of fairy tale that you wouldn't possibly believe could be true. The grace of David Silva, the energy and right foot of Kevin De Bruyne, the hard work of Fernandinho, the power and bombarding runs of Yaya, and then, I don't know, the heading ability of someone like Vincent Kompany, a complete box-to-box midfielder, an astonishingly good footballer, and watching and hearing Manchester City fans who are of a certain generation say, as good as Aguero, as good as Silva, as good as Yaya and De Bruyne are, that they still don't peak Colin Bell. Well, that's quite a special thing to say. Some players really are more than just a footballer. And Colin Bell, well, he had a stand named after him for a good reason. The Colin Bell stand will obviously now, it will mean a little bit more when we finally get to go there. And I'm genuinely devastated for his family and for all those Blues who watched him and grew up idolising him. And there's some lovely words as well from our chairman, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak. He said, and I'm reading this from Manchester City's website, Colin Bell will always be remembered as one of Manchester City's greatest players, and the very sad news today of his passing will affect everybody connected to our club. I am fortunate to be able to speak regularly to his former manager and teammates, and it's clear to me that Colin was a player held in the highest regard by all those who had the privilege of playing alongside him or seeing him play. The passage of time does little to erase the memories of his genius. The fact that we have a stand at the Etihad Stadium named after Colin speaks volumes about the importance of his contribution to this club. Colin was incredibly humble and a modest and understated man with an obvious inner strength of character. He was clearly comfortable with who he was and what he had achieved in the game. For the rest of us, there's always the thought of what might have been if injury had not affected his career. Undoubtedly more trophies for City and far more than the 48 England caps he had to his name. Our club has lost a true great. Everyone's thoughts and best wishes are with Colin's family, and there'll be lots of drinks raised to the King Colin tonight. A genuinely incredible man. 492 appearances for Manchester City and 152 goals, just under one goal every 3 games as a midfielder during his 13-year stay at Manchester City, and as our chairman and many fans have pointed out, robbed of his probably best time actually due to injuries. A genuinely incredible representative of Manchester City. And once again, I'm gutted I couldn't see him pick up the Charity Shield and League Cups, the European Cup Winners' Cups and FA Cups and Division 1. And rightfully Player of the Year for Manchester City in 1968, and of course a Manchester City Hall of Fame inductee. It's genuinely awful news, and I feel once again so much for his family. It is the first place you go when you hear news like this, and I can't help but feel how bad it must be for them at this moment, given everything and how difficult it must be. So just tell someone that you love them tonight, because life can be very short, but you've got to appreciate those things that you enjoy and those people that bring you all the happiness, because life can be like this. It can be cruel sometimes, but we have to be grateful for everything that he did for Manchester City Football Club. People like Colin Bell were genuinely rare, and even though I was never ever personally lucky to watch him play football, you can tell sometimes the impact that one person can have on a community of people and a bunch of football fans and genuinely people around him by how fondly they speak of a person. And it's more than just he was a good man. He was a great man, and people are going to miss him. And I'm devastated for his family. Colin Bell, the King, is one of our greatest players ever, and we'll all miss him dearly. Rest in peace, Blue.